next part of what we did. So back to the sweep turns or tuck turns. We actually started taking that into something a little bit more advanced where instead of just tucking near the body, you extend your arms and start to turn this into a flower pattern. So those basic remedial sort of review practices of tuck turns can in fact inform something a little more advanced. So we did a little of that. Let's see, any real key points that I haven't covered with the sweep turns and tuck turns? Oh, we did the anti-spin swooshes, yeah. Yep. Okay, so with back to sweep turns, instead of just always going with the flow of Poi, sweeping low or sweeping high, we can do that sweep neutral, sort of like a windshield wiper, sweeping it across, We can even sort of invert the relationship. So if the Poi are falling down where we naturally want them to swing down, I can actually raise those up, sweep that in front of my face like a windshield wiper, and when the Poi are swinging in reverse, instead of going up and over, I can bring that down and sweep off my belly button. So we can turn that into a flower as well. It happens to be practicing some really nice together time plane control and freedom of motion as we go. And by the way, for next week, this is also this sweep in front of our face there is essentially getting us ready for just locking out into shoulder wheels. And this sweep right there in front of our belly button is getting us ready to lock out into hip wheels as well. So we're laying the groundwork and just plug this into like all of the things. From there, we switched gears into pendulums. We asked people for requests. Who's keen on hybrids, which we're going to work up to. Hybrids basically involve patting your head and rubbing your tummy, doing something with one hand and a different thing with the other hand. And a great way to start that out that really informs a variety of spinning is working with pendulums and being able to do a pendulum while you're spinning. So we started out with pendulums. We played with just basically keeping Poi swinging pendulums, seeing what it takes to swing those long arm, bring them up in front of you, so the windshield wipers here, up, drag them over, and pendulum. We practice this against a wall because a pendulum is a really great test of whether or not you've got really good plane control. Spinning, putting lots of tension into that helps flatten out your plane is easy. Keeping a nice, clean, planar control of your Poi when swinging pendulum is hard because it keeps hitting the 0 point there and there. It's a moment of hang time. So we played with that. Play with pendulum practice near a wall. And I wanted people to explore whether they can really turn their torso while doing that. And using this wall as feedback to see where you can get to without passing through your plane or losing your plane. The real pinnacle of that, if I come over here, you get a good angle on this. Sort of the pinnacle that you're going for is being able to, I'm going to shorten up, get my torso turned, but keep my arms close on the same sort of plane, or either like right next to each other. So that I'm not just standing here moving my arms, I'm actually using the turning of my hips and movement of my whole body to drive the Poi movement. From pendulum play, we got into spinning forward together time, same direction, and practicing just stopping one Poi and swinging a pendulum while keeping the other Poi rotating and swinging back in. Stop in case you try to do a pendulum bit, but your hands like sort of freak out and both try to spin. Like sometimes people will try to stop and then their hand just keeps going. From there we played with swinging and reversing directions, one poi at a time. So I'm alternating right hand and left hand. Left, switch is right, switch is left, switch is right, switch is left, switch is right, didn't switch. Well, that's the game. Finding where it's natural, where you work. So that was in wall playing. That actually gets a little confusing when you're in opposites on either side of you. You can also practice this in wheel playing, facing, so that backwards. The last one. This is wheel playing. You can also practice this in wall playing, where you're swinging both of them on the wall in front of you and just reversing one in butterfly, reversing the other into the same direction, reversing one into butterfly, reversing the other in the same direction, so on and so forth. All of those are really good practices. This isn't a particular trick or a move all by itself. It's a concept. It's something to take and work on for months and months and months in every possible position that you can find it, because it's going to let you really effortlessly transition between opposite direction movement and together direction, same direction movement. All right, let's see. Anything missing with that stuff? Pendulum. I think that was the meat of it. Yeah, good. Okay. Then what the heck did we just do?
Arms crossed.
Arms crossed. Haha. Right. Okay. Yeah. So you're still recording. No one knows it's good. We brought it all the way back to basic spinning and crossing. This is mostly review. It's extra work for Jeff since he's new to poi. So we're spinning together time in the same direction and forward. And as the poi fall down from the ceiling, that's when it's safe to cross them all the way over your body, not just part way over the body, that'll hurt. So you cross them all the way over, and then you really have to scoop up the upswing here on either side of you to get them to stabilize so they don't just come around and whack you in the back of the head. And of course you want to get comfortable with this with the right hand crossing over or the left hand crossing over, and you want to feel comfortable crossing and stopping and keeping your arms crossed and controlling that. Crossing the other one, keeping that in control. I mentioned it earlier in class, but I'm going to say here that in general, when trying to control your planes, if you're getting into some awkward cross position, or like maybe you end up behind your back or something, and your planes start tipping on you, like maybe this starts happening and you don't like that, the upswing is what's important. As the poi passes the ground, swings past that pull of gravity, you have to really scoop enough energy into the poi to get it all the way back up and over the top. I think like 80–90% of people's problems with plane control and getting at some odd angles, hitting themselves, is that their timing's off, or they're just feeling tentative and not quite getting enough oomph up and over, and so it sort of falls off at this angle and starts hitting you. So just remember that if you're in an odd position, your poi are like bending in at you, scoop them up, even bounce them a little bit, and that will really help control your planes. So from there, we even played with, just for the more advanced people, something that a lot of folks haven't actually tried, which is basically a weaving arm motion, but in together time instead of split time, like most people do a 3-beat weave. Yeah, so here's a 3-beat weave in split time, and together time, here's a 4-beat weave. It's using the same arm motion, but because the poi have shifted their relationship half a turn to get from split time to same time, you end up having to add a whole extra beat there before you can swing the poi around from the front. things. And that eventually leads to, since we're eventually wanting to get into hybrids, this sort of, one of my point went out, but this sort of movement eventually leads to this sort of head-to-hand arm tracing, or not arm tracing, we could arm trace in there too. I'm getting tired. My words aren't working as good anymore. So forth. And that was pretty much it.